for attacking an agent, but Alcott had information the Arcane wanted. No doubt a trade had been made. But no one had consulted me, and I was still pissed as hell. I shrugged one shoulder, then tossed him backward. He landed on both feet, but stumbled and awkwardly crashed into a hanging fern that sent him sprawling to the ground. Laughing, I shook my head and sashayed back into the benefit ball, linking my arm with Willow's as I went. "Was that necessary?" she asked, her transparent fairy wings fluttering in slight agitation. "Yes, he was being a douche." "Phoebe," she sighed, "can't we just get through one event without an altercation?" I'm gonna say probably not. I gave the fairy a bright smile. But since we've gotten that out of the way, hopefully the rest of the evening will be uneventful. She snorted. "Right, because uneventful is definitely the term I'd use to describe your evenings when vamps are around. It's not my fault most of them are assholes." I grabbed a flute of champagne from a passing tray. "They're not all bad," she said, following my lead. I clinked my glass with hers and ignored her comment. She was right. They weren't all bad. Unfortunately, the ones who worked for Alcott had proven otherwise with 100% accuracy. When it came right down to it, they always rejected any shred of ethics in order to serve their leader. And tonight the ball was hosted by Alcott and his merry family of vamps, which was why I'd accepted the invitation to attend. Someone needed to keep an eye on their sorry asses. "Forget Liam," I said. "Tonight is your night. Don't let anything ruin it, not even me." Willow took a sip of her champagne and smiled at me. "You could never ruin my night." We both knew that was a lie. Before Willow had gotten married and left the Arcane, she'd been my partner. She had a unique ability that let her feel when a vampire was around, which was enormously helpful when tracking the clever ones. But she'd recently left the agency to focus on her marriage and starting a family. I glanced down at her flat belly, wondering just how soon we'd be seeing a little fae make an appearance in our lives. Her gaze followed mine and she chuckled, apparently reading my mind as she said, "We have big plans later tonight. I'm testing a new herbal recipe designed to encourage fertility. I'm calling it Some Like It Hot Chocolate." I rolled my eyes. Seems like tequila shots are what work for most of my college girlfriends. If that worked for us, we'd already be pregnant. Willow came to a stop next to her husband and placed a light hand on his back to let him know we were there. But I was willing to bet Taliesin knew exactly where Willow was every second they'd been here, considering we were surrounded by vampires. He automatically reached for her, wrapping a protective arm around her waist. Jesus, they were gorgeous. It was almost obscene just how blessed they were in the genetics department. The fae species has an ethereal quality about them that makes them appear incandescent. Tall and slender with glowing skin, they were almost painful to look at sometimes. Me, on the other hand, it wasn't that I was disadvantaged in the looks department, but I was the gritty sort with dark hair, black eyes, and all of 5 feet 2 inches tall. No one was ever going to hire me as a cover model. Not that I'd want the job anyway. I was too busy kicking vampire ass for anything else. "Phoebes," Taliesin said, smiling at me. "You clean up nice." I glanced down at my sequined silver dress and exposed cleavage. "It isn't too much?" He chuckled. "This is a gala hosted by Alcott. You could be wearing a clear plastic-wrapped dress and it wouldn't be too much." Proving his point, Pandora, Alcott's consort, strolled by wearing a see-through lacy black bustier and a skirt that had a slit up to her hip. "Damn, Will," I said to my friend, "you look downright conservative in your green velvet dress." She smoothed the form-fitting off-the-shoulder number and nodded. Someone needs to be the grown-up in the room. Considering she was the host of this fundraiser to benefit a new supernatural hospital in the city, and would have her picture splashed all over the local papers in the morning, she'd chosen well. Everyone else, vampires and shifters alike, appeared to be trying to one-up each other in the outrageous department. So much female skin was showing it was starting to look like a Victoria's Secret party. When does the auction start?